Super Smash Bros. Is the greatest fighting game franchise of all time in my opinion, and the pioneer of the entire genre of platform fighter. With its massive success, there's no surprise that people tried to copy their formula. Some have done it better than others, but all of the Smash clones have fallen short to live up to ever becoming a Smash killer. But there have been two platform fighter franchises that have stood out to me as being very good games and very close to becoming a game that can run alongside Smash in the genre, but ultimately fell short, and I want to talk about them today. Those two franchises are Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and Rivals of Aether. Both games have gotten sequels and both haven't quite lived up to the hype or potential that I think they could have reached. They each have their own unique problems, but they share one massive thing in common that plagues them both. And that problem is that they both tried to be better than Smash at Smash's own game instead of trying to do something unique and stand out in their own way. Let me explain what I mean using Rivals of Aether as a prime example. Rivals 1 had beautiful pixel art and interesting mechanics that were different than Smash, like the lack of a shield button and the lack of ledge mechanics. If you wanted to recover, you couldn't grab the ledge, and that makes recovery way different than Smash. Edge guarding, wall jumping all became very unique and played way different than Ultimate or any other Smash game. Also, without a shield, they added a parrying mechanic, which is very different than Ultimate's parrying mechanic, because in Rivals of Aether, you can actually reflect back projectiles with a parry, making it very, very rewarding to time a parry, and nerfs zoning, which is a very, very strong gameplay mechanic in Smash and other platform fighters. If you can zone in these games, that is a very powerful tool, and in Rivals it's a lot harder to do that. With no shield but a parry system, the game is extremely fast paced and offensive and rush down, and there's no zoning, and it's very, very, very fluid and fast, and it felt like a breath of fresh air compared to Smash, and especially Ultimate, which zoning is a very, very oppressive in Ultimate. There's really strong zoning characters like Samus, Midman, and others that aren't really present in Rivals. Rivals of Aether 1 was absolutely killing it in the uniqueness category. Like, they were so creative with this game. I absolutely love Rivals of Aether 1, and I'm not even talking about the best feature of Rivals 1, which was Workshop. If you know, you know about Ultra Instinct Fox, Ronald McDonald, amongst all the other crazy characters added in Workshop. I think Rivals 1 is the best Smash clone, quote unquote, the best non-Smash platform fighter. Rivals 1 is amazing, and for some reason, they totally went away from everything that made Rivals 1 unique when they made Rivals of Aether 2. Rivals of Aether 2 abandoned all of these things. They added back a shield mechanic, and they added ledges just like Smash. Rivals of Aether 2 feels like you are trying to play Melee. Like, it feels like they tried so hard to just make Melee. Removing all the mechanics that made your game unique and then just making it just like Smash with the wave dashing, the movements the same, the shielding, the mechanics, everything is just like Smash, and you don't do anything to stand out. You just try to make Melee 2, basically. When Melee is still playable and still exists, why wouldn't people just play Melee? Which a lot of people did. Even the big streamers that play Melee, like Leffen or whatever, they play Rivals a little bit, and then they just went back to play Melee, because why wouldn't they? Melee is the original, and Rivals is just trying to copy it. Like, if you're gonna make a platform fighter, you could be influenced by Smash, but you shouldn't just try to be Smash, because you're never gonna be Smash. You know what I mean? Like, you're never gonna do Smash better than Smash. You gotta do something to stand out. You gotta do something that makes you different, unique, and I think Rivals of Aether 1 actually pulled that off and actually did that. And then Rivals 2 just feels just like Smash. Not that it's bad. I think Rivals 2 is a good game. I think it's polished, it's fun, it's not bad, because it's basically Melee, and Melee is a good game. Like, Melee is good. So trying to be just like a new version, polished Melee is not a bad idea necessarily, but it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, why play it when you can just play Melee? These games need a strong sense of identity, because they need to stand out to people. Because the average person, if they're gonna look at it, they're gonna look at Rivals and be like, oh, this is just Smash clone, this is just knockoff Smash. They're gonna look at it and judge a book by its cover, and then immediately just get turned off and be like, why don't you just play Smash? Why not just play Ultimate? Why play this knockoff version? Like, everything's just Temu this, bootleg this, and nothing is gonna stand out if you just try to copy Smash at its own game. And I think that was one of the biggest downfalls of Rivals. Now on to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. This game was absolutely bonkers at launch. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 1 was a hilarious game. Characters moved so fast. They had so many crazy combos. Most characters had a 0 to death in some way. There was endless amount of cheese. So much cheese. Characters would just die so fast. Characters would just get blown up so fast. It was hilarious. They looked so goofy. The animations were so goofy. And it was just a fun time, even though it was incredibly unbalanced. Bro, every character had DK cargo throw. You could just pick somebody up and walk around with them. Like, it was wild. Like, this game felt like they were trying to take it seriously, but it was so hilarious, nobody could take it seriously, and that was the fun of it. That first week of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl when it came out was some of the most fun I've ever had playing a video game, point blank period. It was so fun. It felt like Smash had the turbo mod on. My characters were zooming, characters were just everywhere, wave dashing everywhere. It was so fast, it was so fluid, and it was just a time to be alive, man. Over time, patches started to come out, and patches started to nerf a lot of the cheese, as they started removing a lot of the 0 to deaths. They started nerfing a lot of different characters' combos, and started to make the game a lot more balanced. They actually had a huge patch that changed the way you DI in the game, so you could start to DI out of combos a lot easier, and things of that nature. So the game started to become a lot more balanced over time, and in my opinion, that actually made the game less fun. And I know, it's a fighting game, and fighting games want to be balanced, right? Normally this is a thing that is praised, and developers are looked at as they're doing the right thing, and they're doing a good job, trying to make the game balanced. But again, it begs the question, if you wanted to play a fair and balanced and perfectly polished platform fighter, why wouldn't you just play Smash? As they started to nerf all the cheese, the game started to lose its wacky, fun nature and started to try to be just like Smash. And it started to lose its identity just like Rivals did. Because that funny, wacky, crazy shit is what made it different. It wasn't a game that was crazy, super serious and polished, but that was what made it fun. Yeah, you could just spike somebody and kill them at 0%, and then they could just do it right back to you over and over. And yeah, that sounds crazy, but that was so much fun. Like, if you played version 1 of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, you would know that that game was on balance as all hell, but man, it was just so much fun. Characters just had so much cheese, and it was just hilarious to even look at. Like, if you saw some of these combos, they were just wild. Fucking Powdered Toast Man would just like up tilt, strong up air, kill at 0. You had Danny Phantom just up air, ladder combos. You had Aang just like cargo throw, down air, just straight to the blast zone. Like, so many characters just had 0 to deaths. The game was unbalanced as all hell. Reptar wouldn't die. You could actually like DI in the air to like save yourself. You could like wave dash in the air and like save yourself from dying in the blast zone. Like, characters just, there was just so much cheese. It was unexplainable levels of cheese, but it was so much fun. The cheese was just fighting cheese with cheese. And as the game became more polished, you started to see the cracks in the gameplay. You started to see the problems, because in reality, the gameplay of itself really wasn't all that great. It really wasn't. Like, the game had those teeter mechanics that, you know, some random rock, paper, scissors thing that really wasn't good. You couldn't shield at the ledge, or you just get put into teeter and you would just get punished super hard. Like, there just wasn't good core mechanics of the game. And then when they tried to polish it, those really showed, and you would just be like, oh yeah, this game isn't really that good, and just go back to Smash like everyone else did, because it wasn't that good. The point of playing the game at first was the wacky shit, and then they just removed it, and then you're just left with, yeah, why not just play Smash? And then in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, I'll be brief, this game was doomed at the start. They tried so hard to be like Smash. This game came out, the movement is totally different than the first game. There's like no wave dashing. It's slow. The movement in the second game is so slow. Feels like you're running in mud. It's just boring. Even though they have a great slime mechanic, I do love the slime mechanic in the second game. That was really cool. I just hate the way the characters move, and it's just you could tell that they wanted to make a polished game, and they wanted it to be serious and competitive, and they were gonna patch stuff, and you know, it just never took off, man. It just never took off because, again, if you're not doing something crazy innovative to stand out, people are just gonna play Smash. You can't just out Smash. If the second game had cool movement on top of the slime mechanic, I think it could have had potential, but it just never capitalized on a great slime mechanic. Slime mechanic was dope, building up like a meter and being able to use the meter offensively and defensively. That was super unique, and then they just fumbled the bag with everything else. That's a great mechanic in a bad game. As for the future of these games, I think Rivals 2 is a good game. Like, I still play it. Like, I would still play it to this day. I still think it's a good game. Again, trying to emulate Melee is not a bad thing at all. It just makes you less unique. So I hope Rivals 2 can pick up. I hope they come out with a console edition. That would definitely help make it grow, because I don't think Rivals 2 has good marketing. I don't think most people even know about it at all or even know it exists. Every time I've ever streamed it, nobody knows what game I'm playing. Nobody knows what it is. So I know Rivals 2 definitely needs some like more popularity, and I hope a console version would help with that, because I think the game is good and I do think it deserves it, but I don't think there will ever be a quote-unquote Smash killer as long as they just try to be just like Smash. But thank you guys for watching, man. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the channel. This channel has been growing so fast recently. So if you guys like this type of content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much, man. I will see you guys next time. Peace! Fucking yer! Yo, what's up, everybody? It's BrainTap here. Thank you guys so much for watching that video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys like it, subscribe to the channel, and please follow me on Twitch at Reset Plays Everything if you guys want to see me live. Thank you guys again so much for supporting the channel and watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, man. Peace.
That's a hot take. This the one chip challenge. A days during Ramadan, but that's all you could chew. What's the point of a big mouth and run? And all it could do when the sun rises, unadvised. I say all you can move. When the sun down, unbound. I make all you my food. My rise to a Lola was lies through your molars. Just look in the moon. I left my mark like I'm Stephen, like this night from the tomb.